Hi guys, sorry about that. My video stopped recording, so I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, so where I left off was week 3. You're going to start learning about the ABAS 3. You will see here. Let me see if I can bring it up on. Let's see here. Blackboard. Let me bring it up for you. So when you are in Blackboard, you will see here the supplemental course and documents. So this is where you're going to find all of the documents that you will need in order to complete assignments. So what you'll need to do is click under Interpretation Worksheets, and you will find the interpretation worksheets for the WISC, the BAS, the ABAS, and the Woodcock-Johnson. So you will click on the ABAS 3. It should download for you, hopefully. Yes, there it is. You will click on this. You will see that the interpretation worksheet is there for you, and you'll be required to fill this out and then answer the specific questions here related to the document that you will be reviewing, or interpreting, I should say. So if we go back to here, you will see, let's go to weekly course content. Week 3 is where I said you would start learning about the ABAS. You will see here, here is the first interpretation, so you would select this. And there is the ABAS 3 document that you will be interpreting, okay? So this information will be plugged into that interpretation worksheet that I just showed you. And this is what you'll be answering those questions. You'll be using this information to answer those questions, okay? So I'll show you more of that here in a minute when we go over the setup of Blackboard. Same for the BAS 3. So you'll be covering that in week 4. You'll have 2 interpretations that you'll need to do. There's a report on Blackboard for you. You'll be using the BAS 3 interpretation worksheet. So you'll fill out those worksheets according to the report that you have that you'll find on Blackboard. And then you'll be submitting those that information, okay? Voice threads, there are, I think, 4 voice threads that you'll need to be, that you'll complete throughout the semester. You'll do all of those voice threads prior to coming to campus. Once you're here and after you come to campus, you won't be doing voice threads. There will be some online quizzes that you'll be taking. There are a couple of case studies that you'll be required to do that are different, that will assess different ways of collecting information or interpreting information. So you'll see here case study 1, test data will be provided, and you will be required to write a professional report describing the data. And then case study 2 will provide you with assessment data, and you'll be required to kind of interpret the data, talking about what assessments are appropriate to use, what wouldn't be appropriate to use, and those types of things. So there's more specific instructions on each case study document or assignment that you can find on Blackboard, okay? There is also an assessment presentation. So in your Flanagan book, there are 11 different assessments that are within that book in section 3 here. So you'll find that. You'll be required to choose one of the 11 assessments. You are not able to choose the WISC 5 because you are learning that in class. So it has to be an assessment other than the WISC 5. And what you'll need to do is basically this assignment is helping you and your classmates to understand and learn about different assessments that are out there, because if you leave this class and you think that the only assessments that are out there to use are the WISC-5 and the Woodcock-Johnson 4 and the BAS-3 and the ABAS-3, then I have failed as your instructor. It is very important to understand that there are many different assessments out there that can be used, but we are learning only those particular particular assessments in this course. So the idea behind this is to kind of broaden your horizons and to have the opportunity to teach your cohort members, or your classmates, I should say, to teach them that there are other assessments out there, and to really do kind of a thorough review of them, so they can kind of put that in their toolkit and know what would be a good assessment to use later on, and those types of things. So it should be a PowerPoint presentation that you'll submit through VoiceThread, at least 30 slides, and you're going to be presenting over a specific assessment. So you're going to be looking at reliability, validity, what are the age ranges, what is the assessment, what does it measure, how is it organized, what is the theory that it's based off of, what are some subtests, what's the time limit, all of these different things that are associated with this. So keep that in mind. That will be part of one of the assignments. And then the final evaluation report, you guys will be required to kind of write a report. And again, it's maybe kind of challenging. I know it is challenging just because this is such an artificial kind of class, or I shouldn't say artificial class, but this assignment is probably challenging because it's not an actual case. We're not doing an actual evaluation. So the way that you are collecting the information is very artificial, which in turn can make this a little bit more challenging. Really, the final evaluation report. So remember, I told you you're going to be testing 4 different people. So you're going to give the WISC to every individual. So those 4 people will each get a WISC. 2 of those people will get a Woodcock-Johnson and a WISC. Okay, so 4 volunteers total. The 2 individuals that get a Woodcock-Johnson and a WISC will be the individual that you will use that information from their assessments. You will use that to create your final evaluation report. Okay, essentially what you'll be doing is you will be organizing the report, talking about the test scores, interpreting them, putting it all together into a report and submitting it to me for an assignment. Okay, let me see here on your WISC. I'm looking at the course schedule when your final eval report is due. So your final eval report is due week 8. So we will be able to talk about this through week 6 for it to make more sense. So when you come to campus, we'll be able to talk about that and finalize more of the details, so it's easy to understand for you. Okay, so those are the assignments that you'll be required to do. Course policies, the main thing that I want you guys to know is because this is a very fast-paced course, I will not be accepting any late work. Okay, you either get it done or you don't, unfortunately. One thing that I am a huge stickler about is once you leave campus, so week 7 and week 8, when you are doing your testing and you're submitting your scanned copies of your scoring and your interpretation sheets, everything must be easy for me to view. So we'll talk about that on week 6, how it should be organized, the way it should be submitted, because what happens here, guys, is you need quick feedback during those last few weeks of class. And so I have to grade things very quickly and get them back to you so you can apply my feedback to the next test administration. If I'm having to fumble through your assignment or to ask you to resubmit things, it's not going to work. All right, so you have to be very specific and organized and detailed in that process. And just because it's just so fast paced and we just don't have enough time. But I will go through that when you come to campus. So week 6, I will go through those specific things. Between so week 1 and week 5, you know, again, just getting your work done, making sure that you're submitting the assignments by the due dates. One thing that I will mention for you guys on the voice threads, in your course schedule, you will see when the voice threads are due. But in the voice threads, you are required to submit an initial response and then 2 additional responses to classmates in your course. So your initial response should be fairly early in the week in order to allow students, other classmates, time to submit follow-up responses. So your initial post should be early in the week, and then your follow-up post should be completed by the due date, okay? So I mentioned that here just because of late work and how that could be impacted. So make sure that you're staying on top of those, okay? Procedures for the assignment submission, I will go over that with you on week 6. Online quizzes. So those are only available for the specified period of time in which they are scheduled for. They all have a time limit on them. You will see that in the instructions when you start taking the quizzes. So make sure that you're adhering to those due dates. If for some reason you guys have some extenuating circumstances, of course, let me know, and I will try to be flexible with you with that. I know some things aren't always foreseeable, so just always communicate with me, and I will do my best to work with you as much as I can. We will go over this again when you come to campus, but you guys are students in training, and this course is the first opportunity for you to actually have access and to learn about standardized assessment. So when you guys actually start working with your volunteers, you're going to have to obtain consent from parents in order to be able to test their child. And parents are probably going to say, oh yeah, I'd love to have my child's IQ tested and for you to tell me what their IQ is. In no circumstances will you be able to share this information with parents. And you will tell them when you obtain their consent that you won't be able to share that information because you are a student in training. And the validity of those results is very slim because you are learning how to administer these assessments. This will make more sense once you get your hands on the assessment and understand the intricacies of assessment. But just it's bulleted here because it's very important that you will not share information with parents, the testing information. When you are finding volunteers, some of you may have children of your own between the ages of 6 and 16. However, I strongly encourage you not to test your own children, simply because there is a different relationship between a parent and a child versus maybe a parent and a family friend's child, or maybe a niece or a nephew, or maybe of an acquaintance or someone. There's the different relationship there. So I want you guys to have the best opportunity to learn and refine these skills in this course. And I encourage you to shy away from testing your own children. If for some reason you cannot find anybody and it's the last resort, then fine, we can work through that. So more to come on this. We will retouch this week 6 when you're on campus, but just food for thought at this point in time. In addition to that, when you are looking for volunteers, you should not be testing a child who is already receiving special education services. So whether they're receiving services for a learning disability or a speech language, or maybe even a gifted student, please do not test those students because if we administer an assessment, then that could throw off the school's evaluation process for that individual. So your volunteers should be students that are not receiving special education services currently, okay? Your volunteers should be differing ages as much as possible. So try to get maybe a 6-year-old and a 16-year-old, not 4 6-year-olds or 4 8-year-olds, but try to differ it as much as possible. I know that can be challenging, but again, it's about the learning opportunity for you guys. Another thing that I have to put in here is when we're talking about assessment and learning assessment techniques and potential cheating, we're looking at curb stoning. Sorry here, guys. My text messages are coming up on my computer. My mom is having surgery, so I apologize for that. Cheating in class is known as curb stoning. And really, in this particular type of class, curb stoning is when you just fill out an assessment scoring form and you don't actually administer the assessment. So please do not engage in that. If I find out that you are curb stoning based on how you're filling out your assessment forms, then it is up to my discretion as to whether you're able to pass the assignment, pass the class, or those types of things. Just don't do it. It's not the best option for you in this course because you're not learning how to administer the assessments through that. Okay. The rest of these are just university policies as well as departmental policies. I'm not going to go over those with you. If you do have questions about those when you do read through them, please let me know. I'd be happy to talk about those with you. But I'm not going to go over those with you right now. Okay. One thing that I think that covers everything in regards to policies, yes. So one thing that I do want to go over with you real quickly is I want to show you Blackboard and how it's set up. So when you enter your Blackboard, you should be able to see all of these different options over here. So your course syllabus, you should be able to click, well, maybe if it'll take me there. Yes. So you'll be able to see this, click on it, and you'll be able to download your syllabus. There's also my instructor information, so my telephone number and email. Announcements you'll see here. Your weekly course content is where you're going to find all of your information. So every week it will have the schedule, what you're going to be learning, when it's due. You'll find your lectures that you're supposed to watch, any additional readings beyond the readings from your books will be attached here, and the voice read prompts also for you to answer. Then you have your quick links to the next following weeks, and everything should be outlined there for you as well. So additional readings, those types of things that are required for you, okay? Any additional readings that I have you read beyond the courses or the textbooks that you have will be posted on Blackboard, okay? So that's where you'll find all of your coursework. Supplemental course documents, like I talked about earlier, this is where you're gonna find all of the additional forms you might need, interpretation worksheets, the ABAS-3, the BAS-3 manuals that you'll need to help you with your interpretations, any additional chapter readings that you might need for like case studies, those types of things. So the parental consent, this scoring instructions, YouTube, those you will not need at this point in time. You'll need those to focus on that after you come to class on that week 6, and we'll go over those. I'll go over those with you as well. Okay, and don't forget that if you click on the interpretation worksheets, then you'll find all of those that you'll need. Okay. Let's see here. Quizzes. If you click on quizzes, then you'll find the quizzes that are available. Mine show more just because it's the instructor view. And then all of the rubrics for all of the assignments are provided for you as well. Okay, so you can see those and review those at your leisure. Okay. I think that really covers everything for you all. I hope that this has helped. If you have questions after you watch this or listen to it, I suppose, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer anything. And just know that there's more information to come about that report writing book. Okay, you don't need that right away, so try not to fret about it too much. I will get some more information out to you about that. Okay, so welcome again, and I look forward to working with you all. I really look forward to seeing you all on week 6. Super excited about that. We'll have a fun time. Yeah, it'll be a great summer, 8 weeks. It'll go by quick, but it will be fun. So I will talk to you guys soon, and hopefully your week will start off well on Monday. All right, we'll talk to you soon.